Hi, I'm Vincent, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a lead list on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So you will see the best filters to use when you want to find decision makers, how to use the lead list feature on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and finally, how to export your lead list with all the informations you need, like the first name, last name, company name, the LinkedIn URL, and of course, the verified emails of your leads. So let's start. All right, so as you can see, I'm currently on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And now the first thing I want to show you is how to use the lead filters. And I want to show you specifically the best filters to use if you want to identify decision makers. So if you want to use the lead filters, you just need to go here and you click on lead filters. And now here on the left, you have all the filters you can use to identify your best leads. And on the right, you will get your results. So you see that you have a lot of filters that you can use, and I want to show you the 4 best filters to identify your best leads. And the first one is, of course, company headcount. And basically with this filter, you can target a company size. For example, if you target small companies, you can select 11 to 50 people. And now here on the right, I have the list of all the people in the world who are currently working in a company with a headcount between 11 to 50 people. And of course, what you can do is to select multiple sizes. So for example, if you target SMBs, you can select from 51 to 500 people. And now here on the right, you have the list of all the people in the world who are currently working in a company with a headcount between 51 to 500 people. Now, one of the most important filters is, of course, current job title. And here you can type, for example, a specific job title, for example, head of marketing. Then we click on include. And then on the right, you see here people who are head of marketing. So head of marketing, head of marketing, head of marketing, head of marketing, and so on. Now, the main problem with this current job title filter is that you have a lot of bad results. So if we check, for example, here we have fractional head of performance marketing. So Jeremy is not head of marketing. Here you see that I have someone who is head of growth marketing. So it's not really head of marketing. And here, very interesting, I have someone who is head of employer branding. So really, this person is not head of marketing. So if you want to get the best results when you use this current job title, I recommend you to put the job title you want to target within quotes. For example, if you want to target people who are head of marketing, you type head of marketing within quote, and this time you don't click on include, but you press enter. So I press enter on my keyboard, and now here on the right, I will get better results. So head of marketing, head of marketing, head of marketing, head of marketing, and so on. And by doing that, you will get much, much higher people who match your filters. So I've just made a test where I search head of marketing on this page, and you see that here everyone is head of marketing. So you see that we have better results. It will never be perfect, but it will be better when you use quotes within the job title you want to target. Now, of course, you can add multiple job title. For example, you can target people who are head of sales, but really don't forget to put quotes within the job title you want to target. So let's say head of sales. And if we check our results, so we have head of marketing. Here we have head of sales, head of marketing, head of sales, commercial director, so head of sales, head of marketing, head of sales. So you see that here we have people who are head of marketing or head of sales. And now if I add CEO, so let's check the results. So CEO, head of marketing, CEO, And here I have someone who is head of sales. So if you have just one thing to remember for this current job title filter, so just put quotes within the job title you want to target and you will get better results. And by better results, I mean that you will get people who match your filters. So if you have just one thing to remember for this current job title filter, so you type the job title you want to target within quotes and you press enter on your keyboard and you don't click on include and you will get by far better results. Now, the next filter I want to show you is this one, geography. And basically with this one, you can target people based where they are. So for example, you can say that you want to target people based in the US. So for that, very easy, you click on include. And then here you have the list of all the people who are based in the US. So it's not where the company is, but where the lead is, so the people. And here what you can do is to target a country, but if you want, you can target a city. So in my case, I'm in Paris. So what I can do is to target people who are in Paris. And so for that, I click on include. And here, if we check the results, yeah, we have myself based in Paris, 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 and so on. So you can do a lot of things. And now if you want to target where the company is based, so it's a bit tricky, but you can target the headquarters. So for that, you have this filter, company headquarters location. And here you can say that you want to target people who are working in a company where the headquarters is in the US, for example. And so for that, United States include, and here you have your results. Finally, the last useful feature I want to show you, especially if you want to send LinkedIn messages, it's connection. And here you can say that you only want to target people who are in your first degree connections on LinkedIn. Or if you want to only reach out to people who are not in your LinkedIn network, you can select second degree connections and third degree connections. So this filter is very useful, especially when you want to send LinkedIn messages. All right, so now that you know how to use the best filters to identify decision makers, I want to show you the lead list feature on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And so for that, we need to go back on my computer. Now let's make a quick search. So let's say that I want to target people who are head of sales in a company headcount between 500 to 1,000 people. And let's say that I want to target people based in Paris, like this. So with these three filters, you see that I have a bit more than 100 results. And now the first thing I recommend you to do is to save your search. So for that, you click here. And by doing that, you get notified when new people match your filters. So it's always useful. Then if you want to add these people into a lead list, you click on Select All. Then you click on Save to List, Create New List. Then you have to give a name for your list. So let's say head of sales in Paris and the company headcount is between 500 to 1,000 people. Then I click on Create and Save. And now you see here that our leads are in a list. And here you have the details. So the lead is in my lead list, head of sales, Paris, and so on. And now what we need to do is to add all our leads into this lead list. So for that, we need to go on the page number 2, then select all, save to list, and then I have to select the lead list I've just created. So this one, and then we have to do that for the page number 3, 4, and 5. All right, so I've just finished to add these leads into my lead list. And now it's time to see this lead list feature. So if you want to see how it works, you go here and you click on leads. And here you have the list of all the lead lists you've created. And here I have the list that I've just created. So head of sales in Paris and so on. Here you have the number of leads in your list and the last time updated. And if you click on your lead list, you will see all your leads with the company geography. Here, if you want, you can add a note. For example, you can say need to follow up. Then I click on done. And here you see that I have a note for this lead. So what's interesting with this feature is that you can see who have changed their jobs in the past 90 days. So we have 10 people who posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. Not very useful, but if you want to send LinkedIn messages, it's always good to target people who are active on LinkedIn. And now, once you have this list of leads, if you want to export these people, you need to go here in lead filters. And then if I scroll, you see here that I have a filter lead lists. And here I can type my list. So head of sales Paris. So I click on include. And here I have the leads who are in my lead list, head of sales Paris, and so on. So of course, what you can do if you want is to add some more filters. And then once you want to export these people, so here into a CSV file, for example. So unfortunately, you can't do that natively with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And that's why you need a third-party tool like Give Me Leads to have a button like this one, Extract Leads. So if you want to easily export your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator into a CSV file, you can go on givemeleads.io, or you just need to click the first link in the description. Then once you are on this page, you click on Start for free. Then you can create a free account. And if you want, you can sign up with Google. And finally, if you want to have a button like this one, Extract Leads, you need to install the Give Me Leads Chrome extension. So for that, you click on Add to Chrome and then Add Extension. And then, as I told you, you will get this button, Extract Leads from Give Me Leads. So once you're happy with your search and you want to export your lead list, all you need to do is to click here on Extract Leads. Then you will be redirected to your Give Me Leads account. Here you can give the number of leads you want to export. So let's say 100. And just below, you can say that you want the emails of your leads. Then you click on Export Leads. And then what you can do is to rename your export. So I target people who are head of sales in Paris. And now I just need to wait a little bit. All right, so as you can see, my export is done. And now if I want to see my list of leads, I just need to click here and then download CSV. So here is my list of leads. And if I scroll, you see that I have 100 leads, which is perfect. Then on top, you have all the information you need to reach out to your leads. So you have the first name, last name, a LinkedIn URL. So always useful if you want to reach out to your leads on LinkedIn. You have the emails of your leads. And when it's verified, it means that it's completely safe for your deliverability to send a cold email to the lead. You have the job title, location, and actually you have much more information. So for example, you have the company name, company website. So always useful if you want to personalize your LinkedIn messages or cold emails with AI, and company location. Now, when you export your leads with Give Me Leads, we make sure that the data is clean. So for the first name, last name, and company name, you don't have any problems with capital letters or with rocket emoji in the first name. So for example, here, you don't have Pauline with a rocket emoji like this. So basically with this feature, you don't need to waste your time to manually clean the data. And you're sure that when you write hi first name, you don't have hi Vincent with a rocket emoji at the end. And instead you have a clean first name or last name or company name. Finally, the last thing you need to do once you've exported some leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator is to upload it directly in your favorite outreach tool. So in my case, I use instantly.ai to send cold emails. And if I want to upload this list of leads, it's very easy. So I click on campaigns, then add new. Here I can give a name for my campaign. So head of sales in Paris. And now here, if I want to add some leads, I click on add leads and here upload CSV. Then I just need to click here and select my list of leads on my computer. So you see that I've just uploaded my list of leads. And now the next step is to map the column headers that we have in our list of leads with the instantly variables. So make sure that you have at least first name with first name. And of course, LinkedIn URL with LinkedIn if you want to send LinkedIn messages. And in my case, for this tutorial, because I want to send some cold emails, email with email. Then I scroll, and then all I need to do is to click on upload all. And now here you can write your sequence. And if we go here in leads, we have these people who come from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So with this process, you can easily build your list of leads, export them, and get everything in a CSV file like this one that you can upload in your favorite outreach tool. And if you want to export your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator into a CSV file, you can go on giveleads.au, or you just need to click the first link in the description. And now, if you want to see a complete beginner-friendly tutorial on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find decision makers, you just need to click somewhere on the screen. It was Vincent. I wish you a nice day, and I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.